Yeah, I mean, one thing I train a lot, is like my leg locks. I train a lot of leg locks and things like that. So, it's just good. I like the leg locks so much, toe holds, foot locks, because it's like, especially in the MMA, even though I'm on the bottom, but it gives me such a good opportunity to just kind of keep climbing them, And okay, if I don't get the foot lock, I like start slipping to the back and choke and stuff like that. So
The first thing I want to talk about is your father, Megaton Diaz. He received his coral belt in jiu-jitsu from Horler Gracie. It's a huge, huge honor and achievement. For the people that don't know, how big of an accomplishment is it to get a coral belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Man, I think there are very few, There's already like very few red belts, which is the top. Then after coral, it's red and white, and then red and black. So black, red and black, that's coral. Then red and white, and then red. So the coral is like, man, 40 plus years in what at black belt. So it really is just such an achievement. It's a lot of sweat and blood and tears that go into that. And you already have all that to achieve your black belt. So imagine the whole journey again at the highest level, which is like black belt. You know what I mean? So he was really happy. I wasn't born when he received his black belt. So it was really cool for me to see him get promoted. See my dad get promoted, and some people they do see their parents get promoted because maybe the parents started later. But yeah, he was already black belt when I was born. So yeah, it's really, really such an honor, and it was great to see that. And now 10 more years to get the next belt. And then yeah, it's great. I'm really happy for him.
It just shows you that, jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it has made such a huge impact in such a short period of time, because other martial arts have been around for like thousands of years, some of them, right? And jiu-jitsu has only been around for not very long compared to that. So yeah, the impact is huge, right? And your game is based around Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, 100%. That's like a really good point. Because it's like I said, there are very few even coral belts. So imagine like red belts that are like very. It's still like a very new martial art. And how much of an impact it is. The first Hoist Gracie, number one UFC, one. And how jiu-jitsu. I think almost every martial artist they'll say if you fight like the UFC or something, you need to at least have some type of ground knowledge. And that's with the jiu-jitsu, not just like wrestling or something like that, but like I think almost all the, champions and stuff, they train at least a little bit of jiu-jitsu someplace, in their career. So yeah.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And let's talk about you. UFC 273 pay-per-view card, two title fights. Burns, Chimaev, it's a major, major event. And you're right there, right ahead of all three of those fights against Tecia
Yeah.
Torres. She has three straight wins. What are your thoughts on her and her style of fighting?
Yeah, I feel like I mean, it was hard because she was on, I think, maybe 4 fight win streak before this, or a 4 fight lose streak before this win streak. But when you go back and look at it, it was like tall champions, or ex champions, like Jessica Batistaca, Joanna Rose, Zhang Li, these girls, you know what I mean? So I don't think she's ever been finished. I definitely think her game now has gone like way better, even though she's like one of the pioneers of the division. I feel like now she's way more dangerous than she was before. Um, I felt like before she was kind of more not like boring, but like kind of more like just points, and stuff like that. And man, just recently her 3 fight win streak, she's just been like killing it, like fire, little like literally like tiny tornado. And that's why I had started to follow her. And then like 2 fights later, they offer me her, you know what I mean? And that was the same with Marina. I started following her, and then they offer me her. So I always it's crazy, like these people that I see like appreciation for the game, and I see like kind of like just trying to. It's crazy in MMA. You don't see too much that like where they support each other, and you see that in like surfing and skating and even like jujitsu. People give value to even if they're your opponent, but they give value to people like, man, they did a good technique, or man, their style is really cool, and stuff like that. And So it's kind of like that style. I was like, man, Tecia's doing good, you know, just really like putting. And then all of a sudden I'm fighting her, so I'm excited. I think this is a great opportunity. Like you said, UFC 273 is going to be a great card. So I'm just ready to get back on the winning streak. You know, I think if I can get a good statement, you know, finish her. She's never been finished. I think that'll be really good. And I'm training. I'm training hard for this fight. You know, my win with, or my last loss was like I learned a lot from that. So I'm really coming strong for this fight, and I think it's gonna be like firecrackers. You know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And you know, you mentioned something that is completely true is that Tecia has been much better on this winning streak more than her whole career. She's like at her best. You get the
Yeah.
fighter at her best, and beating somebody at their best is much more valuable, right? For you and your confidence.
Yeah, for sure. Especially I know, um, like I'm number 5. I was hoping I wasn't gonna fight someone too far behind me. So when they gave me like Tecia's is number 7, the 3 fight win streak, it will definitely it's gonna be a big test for me. You know, I think she's a little bit similar to Marina, her style. You know, as in like kind of striker. She hits in good footwork. You know, and that's kind of a little bit. What I was trying to work on, you know, trying to get better at that, closing the distance and taking down and doing that. So thankfully she's a little bit shorter than me. So it'll be fun to fight someone like I'll have the reach, you know, finally. So I'm really like excited to put my new techniques and my new skills to the test with Tecia, and it will be a great fight.
You make a good point about Marina and her style, and it's kind of similar to Ticia's. You know, there's some similarity there. So, do you think that fighting Marina was like the perfect fight to prepare yourself for Tecia?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that it's more like Tisha's the perfect fight for me to correct the mistakes I made with Marina. You know what I mean? So it's like, of course, I wanted to beat Marina, and I was hoping to get the win of that fight. I made a lot of mistakes, but I think Marina's a little bit more like, well, when she's longer, you know. So for her to make points, you know, to get in and get out, it's she can stay at a farther distance. Um, so Tecia, she's shorter, you know. So for her to make her points, I mean, she needs to kind of come in close, you know. So I think the matchup is, even though she's moves around good footwork like Marina, it's I think it's a little bit easier to for me to get that engagement stuff with Tecia, and for me to try and make correct those mistakes that I was able to see in the 5 rounds with Marina. So even though, you know, I lost, we got fight of the night, you know, so that was really good. And I mean, I had 25 minutes of footage I could go back and watch and study and see like, okay, you know, I mean, if I like maybe I was to fight like Carlos Esparza after this fight, that'd be cool, you know. But like wrestler, you know, it's I'm glad I'm getting this opportunity to kind of correct those things while it's fresh in my mind, and that's something I worked on a lot in this camp, is just working on my, you know, footwork and that stuff like that. So I'm excited. I think it's a great fight for me to kind of make up that loss from Marina.
Yeah, the last fight you also fought 25 minutes with a knee injury, which is
Oh
very
yeah.
difficult to do. You know, when you look back at that, how much did it affect you in the fight?
I mean, I think like my mindset is what affected me the most, you know, not necessarily the injury, because I still feel like I could have won even with the injury, you know. But I think when the athlete, when they're, you know, distracted and their mind, you know, starts taking over, that's really what throws them off, you know. And especially with someone as experienced as Marina, you know, you can't have an off day, you can't make mistakes, you know, because she's definitely not making that many mistakes, you know. Not that she never makes mistakes, you know, but when you're at the highest level, whoever makes the less amount of mistakes, you know, is gonna do better. So I can't say that my injury was like, oh, this huge thing that made me lose, but definitely my mindset about my knee and just thinking about the injury and thinking about the fight and thinking like, oh man, I'm not able to, you know, me overthinking about everything, you know. And I felt that the whole fight, you know. I felt I was thinking, and you know, I was seeing the things happen, but not countering, not, you know, acting on them. And I think that was a big thing, and why, you know, even like good positions like on the ground, you know, I wasn't thinking like to just go for the submission, you know. I was thinking like, oh, should I ground and pound, should I kind of stay here, should I, you know what I mean. I wasn't thinking to like not think about my knee and put any pressure and all this stuff, you know. So I definitely like, it's in your mind, and once you're thinking, you're one step behind, So definitely from the beginning, I was a step behind Marina, and it's hard to catch up. But I still feel like I could have won if I was, didn't make those mistakes.
For sure. And you had the knee surgery, but you've had a few knee surgeries in the past. How was the recovery compared to the ones before?
Yeah, I mean the recovery is good. Thankfully, it wasn't like ligament, it was meniscus, and it had locked up, so took out some loose bodies, and it was better. It was definitely one of the surgeries that I was happy to have, because I knew that I was gonna be able to perform way better with this surgery than like an injury where my ACLs, where I'm like, oh, maybe I won't come back the same, or you always have that. And this one, I knew I was gonna come back stronger, because I needed it to function. You know what I mean? I needed to walk, to do everything. So I was just like, let me just do it, as soon as possible, so I can get back to training and walking and doing normal things. And so I'm really excited. I'm happy, but with the recovery, I don't feel it at all. So definitely going into this fight 100% focus, and yeah, I'm happy about it.
Yeah, you're making a quick return because sometimes you hear about fighters getting knee surgery and they're out for like a year, year and a half. It's only been to the days 6 months, right? To the day.
Yeah,
So that's crazy.
yeah, I did the surgery December.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited. We wanted to get back like in January on Anaheim. That was our goal as soon as I lost. But yeah, thankfully, that I think the surgery was almost like a good thing. Like, hey, slow down, work, focus on you. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm feeling strong. Um, it'll be good. I think it's like 4 months from the surgery to be in this fight. And yeah, I mean, I didn't lose too much. I didn't have too much muscle atrophy, so it's good. Yeah.
And I noticed that you don't start watching tape of your opponent until around 3 weeks out. Why don't you start earlier?
I mean, sometimes I have started a little bit earlier, but most of the time I try to stay really focused on the end of the camp, when I'm kind of more tired and I'm just, have nothing to do, and I watch. And I try not to get too worked up, I don't want to stay my whole camp thinking about her, like I am thinking about the fight at her, but I'm just trying to focus on training me and getting myself better. And I mean, none of my sparrings are going to be exactly like her. All the girls that I spar with, we have some that are similar, but no one's going to be exactly like Tecia Torres. So I start to just have the things in my mind, what she does, like, okay, she throws a lot of crazy kicks and stuff like that. But I don't want to be, 6 weeks thinking about all these things. You start to get a little bit of anxiety and stuff like that. So really just trying to focus on myself. I watch a lot of my own sparrings, every time I do sparring. I watch the videos. I go to bed. I fall asleep at night, like watching my own sparring, and what I think I did good, what I did bad, what I want to change. So I tried to stay the first camp, part of my camp, focus on me, and then the final end, just getting, that way, whatever she throws, I'm like, okay, I remember I saw that, and it's fresh in my mind.
Do you watch it alone or do you watch it with your husband or do you watch it with your coaches? How do you take advantage of that?
Yeah, everything. I watch with
Mm.
my coaches. I watch by myself.
Mm.
I watch with my husband sometimes, like, 11 p.m. or something, where we're just sitting on the sofa. I'll put it on and we'll watch it, and so yeah, it's good. Watch with everybody, basically.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You got to get like the different perspectives too, right? Like what they see,
Yeah,
and then they might
yeah, yeah,
show you something you
yeah,
didn't watch, you didn't catch.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially like sometimes my coach, he'll watch it at his house and I'll watch it, and then he'll come to the gym and he'll say like, "Oh yeah, so I saw this." I'm like, "You saw that? I didn't see that." So then like we'll go and then he'll show me what he saw. I'm like, "Oh shoot, okay, yeah, that's true." So, yeah, definitely try to be on the same team too. And then she's like cheering for the other person. I'm like, "No, that's you gotta cheer for mom." And she's like, "Oh, friend, chichia, chichia." So fun.
Cute, cute. Uh,
Yeah.
Now I saw that you predicted a first round submission, but which submission do you see most likely materializing? Do you feel in your mind like you envision something? Have you envisioned anything?
Man, I envision like armbar and choke. I envision armbar honestly just in the beginning, like by myself. But the more I started to watch her fights, or sometimes she even tries to turn around, and I was like, I see that back and I see that neck there. I think maybe a choke is gonna come. Jump like a backpack. Yeah, I think I feel like she gives her back a lot. Like sometimes on the kicks she kind of tries to kick out. So I was thinking the armbar, but then I'm seeing a lot of opportunities for the choke. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Well, you could take the back and then go for the armbar from the back. You've done everything,
Yeah,
right, in the
yeah,
history. So
yeah.
yeah. That's what makes your style fun to watch. You know what I mean? I think that's what attracts a lot of people to your style. They know that you can go in there and bang it out and you're working on your striking, but there's always that jujitsu, and just from any position, you could hit something. And yeah, I like watching it. I don't know about everybody else, but it's interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I train a lot, is like my leg locks. I train a lot of leg locks and things like that. So, it's just good. I like the leg locks so much, toe holds, foot locks, because it's like, especially in the MMA, even though I'm on the bottom, but it gives me such a good opportunity to just kind of keep climbing them. And okay, if I don't get the foot lock, I like start slipping to the back and choke and stuff like that. So definitely, definitely it's fun, when you have somebody that you can. I mean, when it's a jiu-jitsu against jiu-jitsu, they're a lot more, more technical, I guess, and they kind of know the grips and stuff like that. But in jiu-jitsu and MMA, you can have a lot more fun and creative, so yeah, it's definitely fun. I mean, I'm a big fan of Charles de Bronx. He has the most submissions in the UFC, so I'm trying to catch to his record. I still have some couple more years.
That's why I always enjoy chatting with you, because we could go into the submission stuff. And I was
Yeah.
thinking about Dubronx, and I don't think there's ever been a woman that has hit a calf slicer. I would like to see that.
Yeah,
I would like to
yeah,
see that. That would be nice.
yeah, yeah. They had the Ariane Lipsky. Remember
Hmm.
her, like
Oh
her
yeah, knee
her
bar.
leg lock that she did?
Yeah.
Yeah, the knee bar. But the girl that she did the knee bar on was kind of almost doing a calf
Oh,
slice on
that's
her,
right.
when
That's
she
right.
fell into it.
Yeah.
So first I was like, oh man, I thought she was gonna get her back,
Hmm.
pull her back. But then she went into the leg lock. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, sick. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. For real. Two more questions before I let you go.
Yeah.
Marina Rodriguez, Yan Janan, they competed recently, and some controversy with the decision. Did you think that Marina Rodriguez won that fight?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was close. I thought it was really close. I thought that young China, she won the first. The second, I thought was really close. So for me, could have gone either way. And then the third, I thought that Marina pushed more like, even though I didn't feel like she did so many punches, I felt like Young still punched her too and knocked her too a couple times, good, like rocked her a couple times. But just that pressure, like that pushing forward, and walk, I feel is a little bit sells it a little bit more for the judges, But yeah, it sucks, It sucks to. I thought that Young was gonna get maybe a takedown in the third round, because she did do a couple. I think she did take down the first round, but yeah, it was a really close fight. It's the level, the technique of the striking. I was like, oh my gosh, these girls are like fast and high volume. So I was like, man, okay, I got to get better.
Yeah, they're furious too. When they threw it, they threw hard. I enjoyed that
Yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah.
In the first round, I actually interviewed Jan after the fight, and in the first round, she was hit with a low blow, and
Ah,
she
yeah,
told me that after the fight, when she went to do the medicals, there was blood everywhere.
yeah.
And I was like, what? I never heard that before. You know what I mean? Especially a woman kind of revealing, what can happen in a low blow. Have you ever seen that before? Like somebody, like a woman getting hit with a low blow and like something happening like that?
Yeah, it was actually happened with me in Marina. So with me and Marina, but yeah, but Jan's was a knee and mine was like a teep kick almost with the toe. The same. I had blood after on the medical and everything. So, and it was crazy because when I saw that happen to other people, I saw like, man, girls, like in the time, and then when it happened to me in the fight with Marina, I was like, oh man, this hurts, like really hurt, and I didn't even know what to do, like to get the pain to go away. I was like, I don't know, I can't like shake. Do I stand? Do I squat down? What do I do? It's like, man, this is the first time it's ever happened to me, and I was surprised, to go through that, and then later when the fight was over, to see like, oh man, I really got injured. And then when it happened with Hyon, me and my husband, we were watching it. I was like, oh, it happened to her too. But hers was the knee was from close. So I was like, yeah, I saw that, and man, I knew exactly what she was feeling, at the time, because I had the same thing with Marina
Dangerous.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dangerous. So I think,
yeah.
and maybe they need to make some special protection for the women now, to wear in the fights.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who knows? I mean, I actually, maybe I did. I know there's one commission in the United States that they require that, like on LFA, something like that. I don't know if it's Missouri or something, but I know they require some type of like protection for the women too.
You're going to fight April 9th, UFC 273, Jacksonville, Florida. Mackenzie, thank you always for the time. Good luck on the rest of the camp and all the best in the fight.
Yes, thank you so much. Yoo-hoo.